If your life is being affected by an unfounded fear or a phobia, there's a few things you need to know in order to be in a position to finally put it behind you. The first thing to know is that your fear isn't genetic. You didn't have it when you came into the world. Most experts agree that we're born with just two fears. That's a fear of falling and a fear of loud noises. So that means that everything else, whether that's a fear of flying, of driving, of needles, of spiders, whatever the fear is learned. At some point, your brain learned to be scared of that thing. And now maybe it holds you back from doing the things you want to do or doing them in the way that you want to do them. But the fact that this fear is learned means that it can be unlearned. And this brings me to the second thing you need to know. Many people have the belief that they're stuck with their fear, that it's always going to be that way and there's nothing they can do to change it. Often when they come to see me, they've already made lots of adjustments in their life, trying to avoid situations that might invoke that fear. And sometimes this can be really sad because often they've been missing out on really important aspects of their life, and often for a number of years. And because all fears are learned and can be unlearned, this means you can put your fear behind you and move forward with your life in the way that you choose. Thousands of people have done this before you. This is not something new. And yes, perhaps most people do just accept this is something that they have to live with. Perhaps they don't realize there's anything they can do, or maybe they just resign themselves to fitting their lives and their goals to accommodate their fear. But I want you to know that this is something you can change if you so choose. Which brings me to the third thing you need to know. The fear you experience exists within the unconscious or the automatic part of the mind, which is why it's almost impossible to solve by just simply thinking about it and willing yourself to feel different. No matter how many times your friends or your family told you that there was nothing to be afraid of, no matter how many times you tried to rationalize with yourself that everything was really okay and there was no need to have that fear, it just didn't make any difference. Let's take the example of someone who's scared of flying. They may know perfectly well that they're much safer up there in the plane than they ever were in the car on the way to the airport, and yet they still feel the fear. They might have had their friends and family tell them that there's nothing to worry about, and yet they still feel the fear. They may tell themselves that everything's okay, try to breathe, try to relax, try to do all these different things, and yet they still feel the fear. Why do none of these work? Because they're simply approaching the problem from the wrong angle. In order to resolve your fear, we need to work at the unconscious level with that automatic part of the mind to release the fear once and for all. You'll find a link somewhere around this video to my website where you can book a time to have a chat with me so we can discuss your unique challenges so that you can understand how you can put this fear behind you for good. Imagine how your life would be without that fear, without having to avoid certain situations, without having to make plans around it. Imagine replacing that uncomfortable sensation with feelings of confidence or feelings of calm, feelings of relaxation, enabling yourself to be in those situations that are important to you in the way that you choose. Book in a time to speak on my website so you can fully understand how you can make this a reality for yourself. I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now.